And we're in. Check it out. Grace looks away and we're in, and then it goes, here she is, and there's the 25. Okay, we're continuing recording. Hey guys, welcome to the Masterclass. This is behind the scenes or unboxing the box set. It's not a box of Memphis. Let's check this out. So I'm going to see what I can do with the screen. It is what it is, but it's a masterclass. That's why I'm trying to use this. Really what I'm describing is the Memphis story by myself as producer, director, and I guess semi-auto, all right, it is autobiographical. This really all being done in response to a couple different things. One thing is that on a copyright level, in preparation for the Dolly Parton movie, aka the working title is really called the Maria Ryan story. And listen, if you're not in for talking, leave. It's a podcast. Leave. Okay, it's a masterclass podcast. You get all the Easter eggs, and I'm giving this to Richard Roper. First up, he knows about it, and everyone knows about this down here too. So we're putting in all the Easter eggs, and I'll go as quick as I can. I'm doing it Stuart Copeland, A&M Records, Police style, when he did the unboxing. So cool, and man, I want to talk about, I want to hear what he's talking about. That one drone set he recorded in the basement while Sting and Adrian Ballou and Robert Fripp and Brian Eno were having pizza or something, so vegan stuff, or they were doing yoga. I don't know. I'm gonna go as quick as that. So, and basically we got a lot of work to get through. First of all, on a number standpoint, you know, I try and introduce STEM concepts, and again, this is a masterclass, so be prepared. This is also being submitted for a Grammy, okay, this next year, this whole Memphis thing. First, on a copyright level, this started when I agreed to having all my productions copywritten. Let's see, we can bring this up here. Sure, why not? It's a masterclass. I'll talk about one road. Don Lucky, can talk about one road. One road can't talk about Don Lucky. It's like Batman and Bruce Wayne. They both exist, but not at the same time. That's what they said. So let's see, where am I going? So, okay, here, the Maria Ryan story. Then there's an IRS level that I have to oblige. But anyway, just here, this is going real quickly. Sorry, the keyboard's not working. All right, so here's the Maria Ryan story. I don't know if you can see that, but I'm going to go quickly. I'm going to go more into the contact information. And here's the BM. There's me in the Grand Hyatt. That's another long backstory. By the way, as a producer, as a business person, having things on your plate, where do we go from here? This all takes it to the next level, and you got to work with what you got, okay, at all times. But you know, this is a whole different story. This is another different story. But basically, in things that come across your desk, you go, okay, hey, you know, licensing people. You're a music publisher. That's me. I don't even see it here. Well, this is a performer. But Stroke of Luck is the publishing company, but it's my publishing company. I also have Maria Ryan's stuff here as well. She also, but she's through my publishing company. It gets complicated, but still, in today's world, copyright is really important. It always has been. Okay, I've always been aware of it, and I've always endorsed it. The Grammy people take that to the next level. You can ask any one of them. But look at, no matter what, name your favorite artist. Okay, if they're doing it right, they're making money in music, and there's a reason why and how to do that. And if we're continuing on legacy, there's things that we need to do to take it to the next level, to keep that legacy. So that future artists, your children, even yourself, have money to make in the music industry, okay? Look, and there's a lot of freedom. There's a lot of new liberties that we need to look at. And I'm not talking about LGBT, okay, all that. I'm talking about that version in the music world. That's what's going on now, okay? So I really think that they chose me as Wolverine style. Let's put some titanium in this guy and see what's going on, because they know I play by the rules. On a producer level, what you're about to see, we paid all those people. We paid every person in there. Yeah, the other part of it, Too Famous was two people, literally two people. Okay, and we took it that far. Anyway, I'll keep this up for reference. But bottom line, here's how this started. This whole Memphis story started is that there was compulsory license things. There's a number of different groups out there that do this, and to make sure that performers are getting paid, that artists are getting paid, that authors are getting paid, and there's different worlds here. So I'm really at a conflux. It's really a cool story when you see it going on. Okay, and I tried to take myself out of the picture as much as possible. But really, keep in mind, this is all a 20-year reflection in a short story version, still keeping myself out of the narrative. The narrative being what happened, me being the Forrest Gump in the whole situation. Anyway, so here we come with Memphis. You click on this, and you'll see here's Stroke of Luck. There's 228 titles, okay? 228 titles. Now I'm gonna search for a title. Here's Memphis. Let's look it up. Look it up. Look it up. That's the line in the song. Is it in there? Here we go. Yeah, agree. I agree. My children will make music. They'll listen to music. Okay, well here's Chuck Berry. Okay, that was the wrong one. But you would bring it up there. Here, all we got to do is scroll back to the M's, which is going to be what, seven or eight. M N 5. Okay, which is pretty funny, only because there's I was trying to say as a former teacher, still teacher. Guess what? You're learning. I didn't tell you that. Okay, but keep up. It's pretty funny. Okay, so page 5. Even funnier, I've tried to tie in, so like for WORMP, that's one road, many paths, and the W being the call letters, radio style call letters. That's why it's funny, FM versus T. Look at, I'm gonna try to get through all the spoilers as much as I can. Again, it's the Masterclass. You're getting all the secrets right here. So keep up. Okay, there's a James Bond style story to this one that is out there. The truth is out there. Okay, next up, Kick Box Underground main title. That's in there, and you'll see we get to a second. Okay, anyway. Little Japs Pain, that's not on there. Locomotive Breath, right here. Memphis, here it is. So here. And then Mommy's in there too. You'll see that. And moving on, that's another story. Right here, Memphis. This is where it started with. Me, and me. Okay, but this Memphis is my remix of a song that was by Joe Jackson that came on an album called Night and Day. Night and Day. Not that Night and Day, but Ho Ho Ho, wait till you see later. So this is the original Night and Day. You can see I've got my my copy is ready to go to BMI, but just letting you guys know, I don't know how it works on the ASCAP level, but on the BMI side, anything that you as a BMI artist write, if you create a new melody on stage with your favorite artist, it's automatically copywritten. Did you know that? Now it's a but that's not the only step. You need to take the next level and clean the lens. For your best foot forward, shoot the Night and Day album, really cool. And look, this comes in too. Okay, so with all that, it had a lot of bonus footage, like any double album, really cool. But you can see that they actually went into like track listings and stuff like that. So because of all of that, I didn't know what Memphis meant, but I'll tell you what. And I don't have the props here now. Hang on. Okay, I'm back. I can't find it now. Or can I? No. Nope. Anyway, hey, it's good to be back. No, I can't find it. So, anyway, here we are back. It started with this title. Okay, and how it works. Look, clearly Joe Jackson, and we'll see the song in there, because again, this is going to be a review of, like a thumbnail review of all the different pieces that are in the Memphis story, at least the extended version, not the producer's version, which is even more. That's 96 chapters. The Memphis Stories has 55. How funny that it comes on page 5. You see, and these are you can see it's page 5. Okay, I didn't even know that. But by playing with numbers, it wasn't that, and just, writer to writer, producer, director, whatever. It's all about the narrative. I'm going to show you. It's worth the time. We're working on some fragile equipment, so I hope you're hearing it. What's this? This comes into it. This comes into it. Okay. And this. It's all about the narrative. Writer's Workshop. Okay. Man. All right. I'll stick. I'll follow my own plan and stick to the narrative. Applause for the cause there. It is all about the narrative. So with that Memphis, look, Joe Jackson clearly wrote a song. I put stuff in on it. This was 20 years ago when I did this Kickbox Underground. But in that video, you see other things that we're about to see, and that's what I'm going to describe. And my philosophy was, look, I didn't know what it means, but I got 7 distinct different letters from different music publishing companies going compulsory rights to Memphis, 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 Memphis. Like Doctor Who had Bad Wolf. It's not a bad wolf, it's a good sign for me. But still, where is Sherlock Holmes? I'll take any version of it to find the mystery. And it's still unsolved. So that's the next thing. So here, we're going to start in, and we're going to just start right in with the chapters. I hope you can see it. Sorry for this. Well, you'll be able to see it. And we're going to go full screen in a second. So now I'm about to describe the Memphis Story, just like Stuart Copeland did for A&M Records. And A&M's a part of this too, because that whole CD is on A&M Records. I've been scoping down Herb Alpert for a long time, and I know he's been following me, and he and my dad go back for years and years, and this is all about legacy. Dolly, now I said on my Facebook page, hey, this is all about legacy. Here, in fact, the subtitle for the Maria Ryan story, what is it? Let's look at the homepage. It's going to see 3 things: life, love, and legacy. I don't know if you can see that. Okay. And there's the MariaRyanStory.com. There's a lot of big players. It's more of a movie. It deserves more, and I'm making it more like a Ryan story, Brian's song style. Anyway, we're going on from that. Let's see. So anyway, to prelude that, there were a lot, so I can stick to this narrative. But keep in mind, this whole narrative really concludes with me, the producer, finalizing Beyond the Grave, the woman's desire to have her songs given to Dolly Parton. Now, years prior to that, Dolly Parton actually wanted to buy Maria, well, that's actually Alicia Witt, but Maria Ryan's song. Maria said no, and years later, she said, please, can you take my songs down? That's the whole Maria Ryan story. There's so much in it, okay? And it's all about to come to pass. But in the end, the bottom line is me, myself, the producer, even staying in the background as most producers do, okay? Not all, but it's time to come forward. On this side of the line, from IRS reasons, they clearly define Don Lucky. Here's what you need to do. On this side, if you're doing this, you're wearing this hat, you need to be on this side, you need to be on this side. To play by the rules, I got to do all that stuff. But a lot of this was hidden history or silent history over 20 years, see, because I was focusing on other sides of it. However, I was able to put all this stuff on this side of the line and come out and say, oh, here's me, the producer and stuff. And also, too, in fairness to the, Hollywood, Dollywood, the people that know me already know me and know what I do. The new, not newcomers, people that are first being introduced to me, have to see what's going on. What am I about? What's going on? What's a Don Lucky? What are his production skills? Oh, he knows this guy? Oh, and that guy knows this guy? Well, how well does Tom Hanks know William Robinette? Well, in the times he's met him and before and after that. Look at, not only that, before Will, I was supposed to be on the road to perdition. or Road to Redemption, actually. And my back was messed up. You can ask the people that made that movie, and they know that. Here, this whole story, this is Marshall Bean and Sandy Stahl. Here, how funny that Hakuna Matata, everything does cycle around. Okay, Sandy Stahl wrote, actually, from here, Sanford Stahl wrote the information, was a playwright for Sesame Street for 30 years. Okay, this, I showed them, you can see that now mentioned in there. It says contemporary revisions, electronic manifestations, and other actualizations. We're big on actualization. Otherwise, it's something else. You're indicating. Are you? I don't know. Show me an indication. You're not indicating. Including the new screenplay standard for formatting. And so this is something that I'm going to use to jump into the Dolly movie, Maria Ryan story. Okay. But just showing you this the level of stuff. And also going back, this is also an Elvis story. But I didn't write it, but I helped to format this. Okay? And it all also helped. There's lots of stuff going on. And this is good. We're carrying forward entire leagues of course disciplines. Okay? Entire colleges of thought. A college closed down here. I was supposed to teach there. I am that college, okay? All of it, or can be, right? Like anything, do the teachers have as much skill as some students? No, not if they're teaching every day and not applying their technical skill. How can you be? But you can be book smart or have previous experience. All right, that's what's going on. But listen, this goes all the way back to Ted Liss, right down to the studies. This is why, and also all these commercials for Mini Cooper that Marshall and I wrote over the course of 3 years, and they wanted to use Jeff Bridges. We wanted to use Jeff Bridges. So did they. They meaning SAA. You've heard of CAA. SAA is who we were doing all that for. Not this one, but the backstory trilogies. That's this, the Cooper concerts. So that's why I put that in, showing the screen examples. And to this day, let's see, is this the trilogy? Sure. Click on the car. And that was actually my Cooper at one point. But, here's all this stuff. And we kept on going. So what I do is to use this, because I'm so studied in this, and basically we wrote this, we can use this for little bit parts. And actually, it's pretty funny because how we have it out there, we've always meant to inspire. So when we see people like giving their signs of it, like homage, and you can see parts of this, it's pretty funny because we're not saying don't steal from it. Steal from the best, guys. And this was the best. We really put lots into this. So, but we're going to use this for warm-ups and also too for me to remember how to pull together a scene, how to pull together actors. I mean, in my study of keeping this forward and prelude to the next act, I'm looking at different things, and I'm seeing, wonderful actors and actresses being just, stuck in hell on screen, and it's not their fault, and it's not the writer's fault either. So, that's not going to be here. There's a lot that's going into that movie. So, but here we go. We're back to the plot. So that's the production side. Oh, look, there's the Tom Hanks. I really have that typewriter for him, and it goes back to the AARP article in his Shakespeare days, which there's a whole Shakespeare Marshall Bean thing. It's all, they know what's going on. The guys that know, the people that know, guys, gals, everyone, or whatever classification, they understand. Maria Ryan mood board, that's coming up soon. That's next, and this all preludes to that. So I guess we can do this. We'll do it from here instead of Lizard Jazz. Same thing though. Okay, 55. 55. Remember, it was page number 5 of all the titles, but actually 5 and 5. You can drive. There used to be an old thing, drive 55. He's in the car. That starts it out there. It's a whole heaven, hell, reincarnation thing. Is a matter of fact heavily self-autobiographical. Self being in the Dante's Inferno or grapes, Fox and the Grapes and hell, whatever you want to picture. But there's hope. And sometimes, there's many TV series like that. What is I can't even think. Painkiller Jane and stuff like that. There's lots of them. Okay. American Horror Story, lots of it. Everything continues. So, and that's what it was here. But in keeping with that, and as self-discovery, and this is one of the most important things I can share with you instead of all my babbling, is take this away if you take nothing else. Okay, sometimes you have to go so far into the process. If you're doing anything, if you're wrestling, if you're riding a bicycle, if you're sewing something, if you're cooking something, sometimes you need to, what, you just cooked that dish? You didn't read about it? You didn't go through 18 different sauces or gravies to make that one gravy and then try it? Well, maybe you're not going far. Who says you have to? Okay, but if you do, there's things that are in that forest that are beyond, and there are signs that you wouldn't even imagine. Okay, this is one such sign. So again, me playing with my numbers, just to try to put it out there, to say, hey, let's have fun with the number. Let's put something in that has meaning numerically. Okay, just to mess with your mind. You know, well, maybe just to be cool and to enlighten the mind and to engage and to put it in, because the more you put in, the more that remains in there. It's got to be, good, bad, or otherwise. Okay? It's just the nature. We might take a break. We're taking a break. And welcome back. Here, we'll bring this back up. And this is the part where we get to, yes, we'll go back to Lizard Jazz. We get to talk right about what went into the Memphis story. And again, 55 used to be an old saying, drive 55, stay alive. And now there's other things, because the speed limit's changed, so don't text and drive. But you know, and so here we're gonna start it out. I'm going real quick. I'm doing it like Stuart Copeland did the police box set. If you didn't know about what group he played with, check it out. Some pretty cool stuff. I don't know. So here we go, and I'm gonna go full screen for this. We're just gonna go through them. I use this video format. I've been a long believer in what I call long form. Time is finally caught up with people, because there's certain narratives that you can only tell in a long story by giving the characters dimension, by giving the storyline dimension, by allowing all those things. Can you do it like a giant chess game? Can you move all the players and things to make a really cool, fun narrative? You see it with Marvel Character Universe. You see it with American Horror Story, all kinds of stuff. I mean, there's all kinds of new Netflix, all kinds of great things that are being done, and people are finally adapting to binge watching and stuff like this. So because of that, but long before that, please understand, I was a long believer. I don't care from a marketing perspective. I didn't care about the 1 minute commercials, because they went back to a 1 minute buy-in for radio airtime or TV airtime. Okay? So I didn't care about that, because there were new mediums at the time. The internet. They don't care about. There's people that'll watch a 2 minute video, a 3 minute video. There's people that don't care for that. If it's not in 10 seconds, they're not interested. No problem. That's not the place. This is a masterclass. Okay? So, okay, that's it. That's especially why, yes, I did put it out in an intent, and I gave a shortened version. The short version is 55 chapters. The long version is 96 for a reason, okay, to illustrate. So I'm not making extra DVD copies as an artist, producer, director for nominations, awards, whatever, submission alone, unless it's required. The more you can save, the quicker you can go. And the more you can add to your narrative to make your product. Okay, I was very fortunate that I can look back over 20 years and go just, oh, this. And again, this started with the directive that one song out of 228 song titles in my publishing company came back, all the same song title. Memphis, 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 Memphis. Was that 7? So, without further ado, here we're going to go into it. So through the whole thing, Memphis is a song that comes on Joe Jackson's Night and Day extended version, but it also it comes from really truly a soundtrack of a film that's called Mike's Murder. It had Deborah Winger as the supporting actress. I forget the gentleman's name that was starred in it. But anyway, he wrote a number of songs for that, and Memphis was one of the songs. The film was a flop, but Mr. Jackson was recognized technically and in fact won a Grammy for a certain of the effects of it. I forget which one, but those are the important takeaways. So with that, so despite that, the technical success of what he did, I followed in that technical success, or tried to follow in the footsteps, just to kind of explore and say, what was it? What was it? What is it about Memphis? And it's still unanswered to me. But I have good clues, and my good clues, I'm sharing them, are that it's A&M people seeking me out as a producer through Herb Alpert, who's no longer there, but is there, is the forever founder. And he knew my father, and he sees what's going on, and there's magic. There's such magic here. It's amazing. And look, I'm not making this stuff up. I mean, if you look around, there's meanings here, like reading tea leaves, there's meanings to your life if you see it. I'm sharing some of this stuff because there's great stuff. It's a really cool story, but it really is just a backstory, so I don't have to tell that in the Maria Ryan story. I can just skip right to just like a MCU style. Okay, here's what was happening with Ant-Man and Wasp. Okay, and then you jump back to that. That's exactly what I'm doing, and I'm using this format to do it so that you can. Richard Roper. He's got all the clues, by the way, or I will have conversations if you need that, because he's cool like that, and forever. Look, here we are. My directions are going to film, but in the meantime, this is the wrap up. Welcome to Memphis. Okay, so we're going to start with, I'm going to go full screen, the prelude, and I'm not playing full songs of this. Okay, yeah, I'm skipping through.
Hey Sean, can you check on the pizzas?
Yeah,
okay, so we're going to have to go through
guy
this.
named Randy.
Oh man, how's it going? Appreciate it, thank
I
y'all.
used to work for.
Picked up?
Okay, so here we are with the Night and Day 2. I didn't realize this until long after I got the remix, which is this here. This one's the Memphis remix, and I show the music reports, and I have gotten paid from those people before too. So just letting you know, we're gonna go through it. So here's Night and Day. It's a prelude. And what I love most is the picture of him looking in the rearview mirror, okay, looking backwards with the cityscape. It's gorgeous in the black and white. So with that, and I go, I didn't even know that there was a Night and Day 2. Now, this comes 40 years after I played in a band that was kind of like a Joe Jackson tribute band. Anyway, under the strings, I'm leaving the stage. No, we're just getting started. So I thought this was beautiful, and this whole black and white tied in with Wizard of Oz style stuff that, you know, at the beginning of the Wizard of Oz, they actually had, you know, it was black and white, and then when they got to Oz, it changed the color. So I used that, and I messed a little bit around with the narrative, or tried to. So this prelude is kind of like a rebirth. And you'd have to see the Matrix. To me, the train scene is this transcendental reincarnation thing where you can come back again and again and again. That's what this scene is, and it's looking back. It's a chance to Groundhog Day, you know, or whatever. It's a loop in time. Anyway, after the prelude finished. Then from that, we go to Memphis Directions. So this is the original video, but with a new twist. Okay, as you can see the snapping figures. Letting you know, all that stuff came out before Thanksgiving of this year. Okay, that scene, that's actually Mike Tyson in Holyfield when he's biting his ear off. In the original video, I have this shrill, shrieking microphone sound, because I put that in deliberately to say, what would it sound like if yours been bitten off? This is important footage because it's from another video. Now the snaps. Avengers Endgame. Okay. When I saw this, I got it as a Christmas present. I said, "Are you kidding me?" Now the cowboy hat is pretty funny. But so I put out the cowboy hat. This is 10 years ago. There's Jim McCarran, okay, in a mask. When we were really going for a contract with Mike Tyson and Rick Rufus at the Memphis FedEx Forum when they first opened. So I was doing some of his talking, sometimes impersonating him on the phone. I love my sexy fingers. And then I drove a car like that. I drove a Mazda Miata in there. And we did it just to be humorous. Now, okay. There's Rick Rufus, and I love that shot. That's a key shot to the timing of everything. Okay. So here's Jermaine Dupri. So I guess like all that together came to me. I go, let me just remix this. I'm feeling this. I'm hearing this. I had to see that whole half. This added in. But really what it started with is I was looking up Memphis references to see what's out there. And I go, let me look at the lyrics. So I took the lyrics in Memphis. And it was a robot speaking. I added them into the song, and that's how this came together. But this is the real video from 20 years ago, 10 years, whatever. Okay, so that's it. Again, this is the director's cut, and what I do. So now here, that's the Joe Jackson Jump and Jive reference. That's my old Blizzard 410. Okay. See, just me. Mike Tyson and Rick. That's the mock-up picture I used for that, but really that's their body weight. What a great batch it would have been. 5 million is what we had out there for it. I just put the thing up on Facebook, the old article I got. Now they can put that fight on again if they want to. There we go. I love that shot so much. And I actually took that. Then, because this is all that, I put in old footage from that same fight.
And no way I can fight no one else. No way. Because let me tell you.
A lot of backstory. A lot of backstory.
Make this sport bigger.
As long as we're getting paid for it, what are we gonna do? Me versus you versus me. Bring it. Come on, Rick.
See who's real.
What's up, Thanos?
See who's the best and the greatest of all time. You versus me versus you. That's all it is. And you know what? Come one, come all, Mike.
As long as you're getting paid, good, what are you gonna do?
What's stopping us?
There's nothing but air. Let's do it. Let's get it on. It's that loco when I move the crowd. Detroit, Memphis style. Highways for sale. Your kids better bail. Live the Dash. That's Jim McCarran and Steve Zuper who did the contracts at that time. So that's what's going on there real quick. Here's my actual grandma. See? So I'm going from the black and white footage to this and that footage. And you see the color, this is my first introduction, the color is a dream state. It's either me post-life, or me after life, or me perpetual, whatever. I'm there with grandma. This is me being real to Dollywood, saying, you guys, I'm real. Let's talk about the money. And I understand, now I see what's going on, I know what I gotta do. That's right, but that's okay, see? Come on, let's do those calculations for me, please. Don't calculate it too. See? You see how this scene came in color now. You see? Look at it. That scene was, where was it here? See? Yeah. See? Here's the beginning. Black and white, Wizard of Oz. Thanos. Now, that all came first. Then I saw Avengers Endgame, but I didn't put that into all this. Yes, of course, this is like Lord of the Rings, or let's get together, let's, here's Mesomecha. All right, now I'm going to skip through these things. Again, that's the bonus director's cut. I'm going through the short version. We're going to go quicker. This is really Joe Jackson, and I love it. This is from an old Betty Boop. But if you can see, things are on, but they're not really on. See? Say it fast 5 times. Palamas. See? I love it so much. We're going to skip from that, though. I want you to watch it instead of me yammering. Okay? Now, Jack You Dead. The original song, the original band. Except it's me singing from 1980 something. Okay? So, in the spirit of the Joe Jackson, previous, I made it loose and fast, emphasizing certain of Louis Jordan's. It couldn't match exactly, it's not the same tempo. See? But now, you watch, he's like, I don't know, just being fun. This is so cool. Here's the spoiler. Okay? You go all the way back to the end of it. There's parts, it's me playing the piano. That, you see? But that's really me on the organ. He kind of matches it, but he doesn't. I did it all the way back to the end. Here's the thrill ride. You ready? You see? I timed it back right to the end of it. Right to the end. Let's see it again. It's that important. Okay? Rosebud. That's what's going on. You see? Now, there comes that. I'm staying in black and white. Now, here's the Memphis from 15 years ago. They sent it back, but I used the original, you see, plus the remix. There's the squeal. He's not biting his ear. But this is the real Tales of Pain that I produced along with Steve, and we hired everyone in it. Okay? The whole stadium, everything. We'll let that play for a second. See if we can hear the music. And you know what? They were all ladies. When my dad had cancer, I gave him those same round cards in the hospital. And I said, keep fighting, Dad, keep fighting. My dad made this fight, and he saw all this happen. There's me in the back laughing. It's pretty funny. But they go, how do you like being a ring girl? She didn't say anything. She just was so polite. Watch her. See, she just smiled and walked away. What a lady, and look at how they held the ropes open for her. Gentlemen, one and all. You see, after Carter knocks out Thomas Kudaszewski, you know, I cleverly added in the music at a certain point just to make points between them. Okay, this is the real belt. And the belt's gone now, guys. So this is all you get. $150,000. But between the jewels and the belt and the Thanos glove with Infinity Stones, you guys like the Masterclass so far? Do you have some of the refreshments back there? Okay. Anyway, blah, blah, blah. We're back to the fight. Back to Memphis. Using music as seen. And I kept it black and white, you see? To bring the people back. You see what I did? I went black and white to black and white. Here's the Memphis Joe Jackson song, my remix version would be in it, okay? And then to the color hyper, Galaxy, whatever, back to black and white, and him finishing the fight, you see? But that's with the original Memphis. Because this is the second fight, or it might have been his third fight. It was the fight before, was that Leo? It was okay, anyway, it keeps going on. Then, when he gets to the title bout, where he wins, and Thomas breaks his ankle, and it's got to stop the fight, that's when it's color. See? But then, it shows you the in-between. Actually, it shows you the fight before. But I did it instead of slow motion. I did it with a variety of motion techniques as I taught to a film student. Here's one of the original commercials, but still keeping it black and white, see? I'm still keeping the audience there on purpose. I know it's a long way to go, but that's okay. It's a long piece. How long is The Irishman? Okay, just about 3 hours too, if you strip out certain parts. I'll give a short version too.
Tickets available through Ticketmaster.
Ticketmaster Club. It actually was on TV. See? So this is Marcus Miller on bass, and me playing with him. But I think it's cool. Like here, 4x, 16x. I kept the squirrel sounds in there, along with the music, just to carry the audience. And see, now he's paused. I don't know. I could have done a better job editing this out of here as it comes out, but that's okay. The whole point is the music changes again. You know, he's back in. That's cool. Okay, well, that's cool. I wanted some little shift in between, whatever. It's really Rick Rufus, really Carter Williams, both K1 fighters, and they beat each other. Okay? So, there they are. Jim Jesus, who's Manhouse producer, there's Corey Schaefer, there's Steve that you saw going by, there's Dr. Demarest, there's Doc, what's up, Shucky Nugget, that's Albert Mady's kid, that's why he's allowed, there's Tomas Kuzashevsky. You didn't see it in the other bout, but actually Andrew Galata was in the audience in the backstage area. I didn't even know it was my brother-in-law, Doug. Scott Coker in the background. Okay. I'm gonna let you guys watch that too. Here it is. But then it goes to the new Memphis. And it goes bounce right when Jermaine Dupri goes bounce. So he goes, watch. Yeah. To turn people out of their anarchy. Wow. I didn't say the Polish guy's on the floor, but the Polish guy's on the floor. We're talking about. Now, keep in mind, these guys can take a lot of pain. A lot of pain. Okay? This guy's foot is broken. His foot is broken. Then you see him get up, and the very last thing that I would do is jump on the rope, jump on the mat. But he does that to check his foot, and he goes, "Oh no, I'm not going anywhere." Say they're already roughing him up because they know he's not going anywhere. So that's why I'm showing you this part. And you see it from the other cameras in the full shot. You see the reverse side, how much pain the poor guy's in, and what Tomas is actually doing. Thankfully, we had all those cameras. And then in the behind the scenes, you see me talking about the cameras and multi-camera shots. Thankfully, we had something to pull together to review for historically. And again, you want to see this without me talking, it's all out there. It's called the MemphisStory, down with you on YouTube. Look, you can see the poor guy. Look at this big bear. I wanted to see the fight go 12 rounds. No, here. Watch. See? And actually, he's not jumping on the foot. Now that I see it again, he's not jumping on the mat with that foot. He goes, no. Save the bouncing. So that's it. Then it goes from that. You see? Now, you see how this reflectively, I knew I had that picture, and also the flip phone is very Avengers Endgame, plus me with the slick back here. But that's really the picture I used when that thing came out, and you can see that back to the original prelude. Sure, see? Then it goes to the, here's the original. See? There's the prelude.
Food is kind of like love, you know? You really gotta keep your options open. Explore different flavors, different cuisines. Get your little Greek, Thai, enchiladas, Indian. You only live once. You should take advantage of all the kinds of foods out there.
See? The picture. Okay. And then we go back. Okay, don't worry. So, then, this goes to a Cooper thing that we did. Just then, again, this was being done as Christmas time.
What do you want?
Okay, here's the whole point. The whole point of the thing is, look at just like the belt. We can promise you the moon. That's actually Marshall Bean. It's the voiceover, and it was really a commercial that we sent to Minnie Cooper. Here's Michael Westbrook.
You know me?
Washington Redskins. Michael Westbrook.
Do you know me?
Jerry Boswell.
Jerry Boswell.
King of the Kings Payback premieres March 6th on DirecTV pay-per-view.
And yes, it did. It actually happened. And we managed Michael Westbrook. Then, I don't know, I did this little theme and like kind of a soliloquy. I was going to play this live or play against this live, 15 minutes worth of stuff. I'm trying to keep this to 15 minutes. So this is really cool. And there's a lot of information on how that picture came together with cool stuff. So you can read about that.
Memphis.
Okay.
Where the hell is
Here it is.
Memphis?
The robot is changing.
Memphis.
See, the robot's got a
Where
big
the
part
hell
of
is
the
Memphis?
storyline. Oh.
Memphis. So where the hell
There's
is
so much in
Memphis?
here. Okay, anyway. So that's what's on with that. Then we go from that to Should Be Nightcap, which is like a double side or a B side. Okay? So this is weather report. When I was in college, and this is where I was a big studier of weather reports and stuff like that. It ties in later. But then it goes into one modern and it's really cool. That's the B side to Cup Joe. And it ends with Game of Love, which is contemporary, and you can see me performing that I used that for, talking about memories. Memphis, memories, Elvis, there's so much involved in this. Okay, it's really my Cooper. It was till it blew up on fire. Actually, look at the VW farewell Andy Warhol commercial. It's a lot like this when you see him welcoming the people in. But this was another Mini Cooper commercial. Again, thanks for stealing from us, guys. You did a great job. All right. Then we go to that, to with all this copyright and Taylor Swift style, we go to Lonely ASCAP Investigator number 354, Falls in Love Again. From this is really me. I didn't make this now to be all Drake, stuff. This was really me back with Daniel X. O'Neill, and we talk about the Lonely ASCAP Investigator. That's why I put it in. Plus, it now starts me in the afterlife version of the different versions of hell, and going back that through time to this happened and this didn't change, and these all really
Ladies
happened.
and gentlemen, the worldwide entertainment juggernaut of the 21st century and beyond. Ladies and gentlemen,
True.
Mr. Daniel X. O'Neill.
I'm gonna get some chips. You want some?
Lonely ASCAP Investigator number 354 falls in love again. He used to meet the most beautiful woman because he drew cuts with his eye directions, feeling like he had a photographic memory for the notes in his head. Born to Run by Bruce Springsteen was performed publicly at the Roundup in northern Oklahoma on November 24th, 1994 at 10:42 p.m. Back at the motel, making his completions and his expense reports. He lays his keys on the table now.
Doritos,
A man free to show his allegiance as modern sheriff of the copyright. Looking for that lateral promotion move to the Treasury Department where he could really do his stuff and turn his corners like he wanted to. He pulled out his receipts and his entrance tokens and laid them on the dresser, and he's feeling kind of glazed from the stale tap beer from the long tubes from the basement into the stomach, and he turns from the mirror to the chair. He'll treat this one right. Won't think of the ex-wife when he bangs this one, and he pulls out the 50 in a grand way and takes off his pants to the edge of the bed like a chore. Ladies and gentlemen of the audience, thank you for...
Okay, later on in the performance, I get into the character because my last name is Lucky. So back during these performing days, he would have me wear a mask and come into the audience as the character, the trickster, Loki, which you might know from. Oh, look at all the precogs out there.
No more chickens at plan number 9. Pick up chickens at plan number 10.
That's right.
Thank you, David Edsey.
Dave Edsey of the Fabulous Squirrels. And Soap Illusionist. Now, what this is, all this is that this is... Okay, so... If you hear that squeal, it's my version. And I also added in the drums. And I also added in the Hey Joe. There's a few different vocal things in, but it's like, you can ride, you can drive, or you can fly. Anyway, that's out there. Then the other version, it was just really a remastered version, so you can hear Joe's vocals more, and they're amazing. Afterlife. It is what it says. that just starts to tail. Just now, all this comes in after I've seen Avengers Endgame. And I'm using the Rufus character with his likeness to Thanos. Is my nice Thanos or whatever. But just adding that in. So I used this to tell, I edited it a lot. But I already started telling Illusional, say, by putting that clip in, deliberately I'm taking the viewer in back to the origin at the start of this with that clip from, but now here's him back in the later, see? So this is a famous trick that they use in today's cinema. Now, of course, the snaps, that's what brought me back in. After I saw it, I go, that's it.
You guys should have, I'm telling you right now. I could have told you, I could have told, wait, turn it.
And that present was for his daughter. That's who's on the phone.
I'm telling you right now.
So the whole Thanos daughters thing, yeah, I have 2 daughters. Oh, dude, I'm in. That's it. Here, let me expand the narrative.
Because you know what I was saying, he did.
That I took the money.
Oh, yeah.
Me personally.
That's what everyone said.
Everyone said they did plan to fight on it.
No, I believe you. You know what Don did wrong? Don messed up on the musical production performance part of it, because what happened is, we went and bought new sound core, I mean, I'm sorry, man, Rick, we spent $3,000 2 weeks before the event, okay? To buy new sound
You guys were
equipment,
just,
and if you
paid up
you know what
for
it was, everybody said he was pumped up, whatever, he wasn't, he gets real fucking nervous, you know.
no, dude,
everybody-
you guys were just totally taken.
Yeah, I
by
know that.
Corey Schaefer let you fucking fall into his
And
web.
he knew it.
Wait,
I
let me
put him in better martial arts, man.
Dude, you fucking found out who you guys were and said, holy shit, this guy's got money, let's finagle and weave him into our web, get him, put up all this money, and then,
But what would be the point?
you know what I mean? Because, you know what? Somebody else, another Steve Pectorano will come along because they get, let me tell you, your fucking fight, the money you lose, first of all, a fight like that should have been on television, okay?
Of course! That's why I'm so upset.
You wanted it as pay-per-view the whole way through.
Now we put it back out there for you guys for free to see it.
It should have been on
Okay?
television.
Hey,
Yeah, and Corey said he didn't know anything about pay-per-view.
how would you know about it otherwise?
I didn't, well, you know, I didn't tell you before.
How about all those people that were there? They deserve to be recognized, don't they? They sure do.
Who knows? I didn't know you as well. And I didn't know, and he was calling up, sweet talking my ass all the time, just thinking. Corey kept talking shit about Bob Wall, always a has-been, nobody likes him
Bob
no more.
Bob and I are pretty close. I haven't talked
Corey's
to
talking
Bob.
shit about Bob Wall, too.
Bob,
You can ask Bob Wall, I wrote Bob Wall a letter. And I said, you can show this letter to anybody wants to. Corey said, oh, he's a has-been. Nobody's gonna pay no money to see Bob Wall, nobody wants to see him. I didn't see Corey move with Bruce Lee. You know, I mean,
Bob Wall's a pretty
Bob Wall was
decent
okay.
guy. Bob's an egomaniac. He's kind of every,
And so am I,
milk
because of
everything
publicity.
for it.
I just want publicity for a company.
Bob's trying to milk everything he can for it. Hey, you fucking was with Bruce Lee, Man of the Dragon, okay? You milk fucking everything too.
Exactly. Now, Bill Wallace, I get along with him real well. He's a great guy.
Yeah. But I gotta tell you, these fucking guys, I've danced and danced my whole fucking life.
I know.
And I gotta tell you, it took me, in May, I didn't get paid all my money. It took me 6 fucking weeks to get paid the rest of my money. 6 weeks from this motherfucker.
Now what did you get paid in the end?
He paid me it took me 6 weeks. You know what that fucker does? He has
Okay.
his phone on or off.
Well, anyway.
Returns your calls.
Here's Rick at the K1. You see that famous kick.
Being the first American to win the K1 World title in Japan. Standing in his way first is
I'm gonna tell you something. It's different if you're standing there and you're the guy holding the camera and that's going on. And that's how I took the black and white shot, not this one. Here's Carter. You'll see him in a second.
not go on. He'll get some serious recognition tonight if he can be the last man standing in Tokyo.
Jeff Ford was at our fight.
Got not more than $1,000. Guarantee you that.
You know what fucking, he did with Nevitt? Mike Nevitt?
Who?
Mike Nevitt was
Yeah,
supposed to be a hard
alternate.
fighter. Okay, no, middleweight, heavyweight or whatever, right? he basically used that. Oh, he's a great fighter. He's a friend of Corey. Oh, he's a great fighter. Now it says I can sell at least 100 tickets. I give him 100 tickets, right? Then he tells me I'm having problems selling them because
Anyway.
it's a struggle weekend and it's $50 each.
Oh.
$50 for.
Then here's the stadium. The people that are singing are a group I produced called WWA, Worldwide Assassins. And that's a beat that I produced with me on the keys. The ghost here, look at there, like all the people walking by, it's like a ghost town. But after he's talking about baptized, that was a religious thing that they had there. So what I did, why I put that in as footage, is to illustrate the number of people there. If you can imagine a ticket any price in that stadium, and then all sides, and then the upside of it where we had the VIP area, we bought food for the entire venue. And for the Tales of Pain, you can see in the other footage with the people that showed up, no, it didn't look like that, but no, it did not look like that. You see, that's what the upside looked like, and then we're all at our VIP tables and everything. That's where we're taking this footage, so we can put together plans and we can put together sponsorship packages. Now, on this side, here's all the people, and even if we had that number of people at the event, it would have been a success. Okay, it was a success, but not in terms of ticket sales. Anyway, here's Michael Westbrook, Carter Williams, Rick Rufus. That's actually music from the Kickbox Underground. And here's a Bruce Lee phone call because of the Bruce Lee reference. Hey Bob Wall, what's up, man?
The 2 for $5
I
Mix and
think
Match
your
deal
ass,
from
buddy.
McDonald's is
Come
back.
on,
Choose from some of your
let's find the ring. I'll pull that mustache right off. I love you, brother.
It's time to celebrate because 2 for
Come on.
$5 Mix and Match is back.
Yeah, here's me putting it out there. I still don't know what Memphis means. So, baby, what do you want me to do? Give Bob 2 jam from all this? You want me to do it? And we return back to the narrative.
His prints are all over the crime scene. The TV
It was a UFO!
I didn't kill that kid, Ralph.
So, the only reason I put this in Chance Origins, okay, haha. Actually, after that, this is some trippy stuff, but to be the whole summer of time, adding in intent. Oh my gosh, I did so much stuff as illustration, sometimes for color, or sometimes to create a mood. Look at this. Using simple things to create an intergalactic or style effect. These were simple lights. It was like you were in a cave. Like, there's me making sounds, whatever. Christmas time I had those LEDs. There's a lot of stuff I did with those. But really, what it did was to show the studio, and that's a prelude. You see those screens in the back. That was actually the same screens. I called it the Electric Nest, when we broadcast the Super Bowl. Anyway, the whole thing, this was kind of like I'll show all the stuff that went through there. So you hear that? So that same device, which is a Korg K-Oscillator 2, I used to create this intergalactic soundtrack. So if that's what you're looking for, here it is under Kid Eternity Rebel Clone. And I think it's really cool. So that Adam Sandberg and Justin Timberlake have a movie called Pop Star. And they have a guy that's the DJ. He just plays the iPod. As do I. No. So anyway, that's really a cool piece. So I have that later on in Game of Love. So that's in the playlist. Starring Chance and Random, the K2 Oscillator, yeah, and me. Oh, then I read the Judi Dench. Okay, which later on comes into it, and this again adds to this after, like, hey, what's up, Korg K Oscillator 2? Now, hey, the K Oscillator is different. It does different things. The 2 does what this does, and it has different scales. I think it was John Williams was talking about the value of, was it diatonic scales? I don't know. They were doing a study on the value of a certain type of tuning scale in movie themes and how that creates certain drama. I just go with your feeling. You can do that, or you can study like that deep to it. But bottom line, if you're looking to do stuff like that, this is a really cool piece to study that very, very easily, because it's got like all the tones, including Indian tones, like 12 tone scales and 14 tone scales. It's really cool. So don't ask me, ask Stuart Copeland. You don't have to put on okay, stop it. Say, Electric Nest. Then we go to Maynard Ferguson, see, as improvised. That was why I put the improvised in there too. So you get it all, kids, for free. Look at it. Here's what's really cool. Jack DeJohnette, really cool player, drummer. And who is this? Steve Halpern. They both did like a own thing, and what I did is I go, wouldn't it be cool to put in their things together and hit play at the same time? This Doctor Who, adding to the time theory. For real. Did you know that what you're seeing is not actually spinning, it's a still image? Did I play with you? No, I didn't. Yes, I did. Maybe I didn't. Yes, I did. Okay, here it is. Here's the tonal sounds. And then we go on. Ready? Oh. Come on. And there was on. ET phone home. It's actually beautiful. Anyway, then we go off from that into Star Trek piece. You see, there's all this Avengers Endgame references I'm playing, but this is just really cool. The Coming Home. And the Excelsior, which is a reference to Stan. I mean, that's the name of the ship in this, but it's a reference to Stan Lee. These were pieces that I did. I just threw in to have fun. Okay, but, you know, but these were previously done. Later on, Roger Ingram does Skyfall. Okay, but I put in the Maynard Ferguson theme. That's out there on WORP with the giant research paper I did on the me versus the great computer. Me versus the great computer. Versus the great computer. And I say, yellow alert, decryption in progress. It's so beautiful. Come, enjoy Cheetos with me.
Commander Starfleet on emergency transfer. He orders you to surrender this weapon.
No reply. Steady as she goes.
Scotty, more gluten products needed on deck.
One minute to space tours. Are you just gonna walk through them? Calm yourself, Doctor.
Sir, Excelsior powering up with orders to pursue.
All speeds available. Major track. All speeds available. Major track. All speeds available.
So, the Excelsior time warp thing, because like I was hit with the cosmic dust of the Excelsior time warp. Stanley.
Now.
No spoilers. And here's the end.
At 95.2.6.
You have to watch it. Spock with a beard.
I think not.
Okay. But there is Spock with a beard, look. Just because. Alright, so we're skipping through. Then we're on to... You hear Steve telling Rick on the previous video how God didn't do this. We rented the stadium for a whole afternoon just to do this sound check, including all the equipment you see, which is me and those three guys and the equipment, all by myself. Okay? It sounded great until the speakers blew out the night of the day of the event. This is them in a club, just doing another track. That's a hidden track. Well, look, you gotta wait through the silence. No, I didn't do the 1013 thing like they did on the X-Files CD. But I remember this from back then, that I had put something in there. Maybe I did do 1013. I don't think, would it be 10? Anyway, you were tearing it up. So was it 1345? Well, it's not 10 years. Yeah, I just threw it in. No, but that was in the original footage. The footage is in. I go, oh, that's cool. Let me keep it in. I could have clipped it. Here's the actual national anthem. Let's give it up for Carla Hassett, the heroine, okay, who did the a cappella anthem, no problem. But there should have been music in the big thing. I'm gonna let you watch it because she's a hero. But that's why. Here's why. Okay, I just left the rest of the footages. There's me. The footage is what it is. She's really a trooper, okay, to survive all that. And that's why I put this in. With this from Life is But a Game. This goes to some Steve Gadd stuff. I'm not doing a very good job, but here, when I hear Steve Gadd, I'll know to remember to tell a story of why I put this in. Steve Gadd, Chick Corea, Stanley Park. Anyway, look at Carla was a heroine in this. Okay, but with the giant now I'm into the Avengers. Here's these larger than life people, just like you saw Thor in Avengers Endgame 2. Okay. The beginning, blah blah blah. Here it is at the end. It's literally slicing down something all the way through to the blah, 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 blah. And then here we come to the DreamX now. Look at with all the halo colors and chemical signs. But this really should have started with this is a French performance artist by the name of Jean-Michel Jarre. And it should have started with a piece that said, "How old are you?" Just that's a reincarnation phase, but it's all, listen, I'm past, oh, can we reincarnate? I'm like, look, okay, so before you come back again, here's the 7th layer of reincarnation, and before you get there, it asks this question of how old do you want to be and come back as. Okay, then starts this dream phase with all this beautiful, you know, and that's what this is meant to be. It's not. It's a hallucinatory dream without drugs, because you're reincarnating, you know, like that. But that's me reincarnating, and that's why it leaves with the lights on, you know. It's the whole. We could be coming back as a molecule. That's what's going on. And then we go to YouTube TV. That's right. Can you dance like me? I actually did that at Comcast.
YouTube TV. Try it free.
Introducing 30-day home trial.
All my first time riders.
Hip hop, intervals, no. Hip hop ride. Stay with me, Peloton.
You got this.
I do?
You got this, Peloton.
Yeah, I do.
So, out of the shadows, here comes Joe Jackson. By way of topic, in his royal blue scam. You gotta watch it. It's a Steely Dan song from Pretzel Logic while I'm eating my Doritos. That's why I put in FM versus TBH. TBH is a Joe Jackson song. It's not verses. It's my commentary on how T here, because the whole joke here is Video Killed the Radio Star, which is an ancient song. Video killed the radio star. But in between that is FM was before that, then video, then TV. See? And now we're onto the internet, which is past that. That's why I'm showing it there. Isn't it funny? Do you have high heel sneakers? I hope you don't have goldfish in them. Thank you. But then, this is a reference to Hermione Durlot. Okay. Now I can't get the sound right on the melodian yet. I gotta do this stuff in performance while narrating this before the songs, but then start the song. So I'd start my yammering and maybe just play, maybe not. Then at the end of it, we would go on. Boy, we're past the 15 minutes. Is it? 20 seconds? You've got 10 seconds. Did you hit your goal today? You got to hit that goal. Come on, hit that goal. Got the bet zone.
Hey, as I'm sure you've heard, the leader and founder of ISIS is now dead.
What really surprised me was that after it happened, the mainstream media began focusing on something tangential. The fact that President Trump didn't inform...
Can you guess why I put a circling reference in? Some fuzzy fighting. And Neil Larson were in a few different bands together. Neil Larson was also in Greg Allman's band. Anyway, this is it with Mario, and then the windows is like a musical illustration of now the reincarnation part coming back. And lyrically, I'm sorry, musically, the chord progressions can be overlayered on the prelude part to show that. That's why it's a window. It's like you're coming back from heaven down to earth. One of my old teachers, Gary Chappelle, basically was also Nick Bell's teacher and one of my teachers. Went to school with Neil Larson, so I think it's really cool. I learned a lot from him. And I think I know Mario too, anyway. I'm going to sing the guitar solo because I want you to hear it, so you need to watch that. Thanks for listening. As long as you listen to his guitar solo, it's about 2 minutes in there. Maya Novo. Here's my Lost style intro. You see the cigar? Ties in later. Look at it. I'm supposed to... Ed Paschke is my great uncle. Art is in my blood. His owner, the gallery owner, wanted to buy my piece, but I didn't paint it. This is the first piece I ever painted in response, as a very rebellious response to paint it non-politically, but artistic, rebelliously, because they look, I can paint. I choose not to, but all right, here's me painting. I painted it live in front of all these people at this art thing. So all of this is just drawing that I used this one piece as the album cover to the whole Kickbox Underground Challenge. Hey, why waste it? Anyway, it goes on. So that's the underground. See, that's why I tied it in the underground. Just to be able to look at it. You see, it was they unearthed a keg of Bigfoot beer. It was buried under the ground for like 9,000 years. And they had all the different archaeologists were there. They brought that Bigfoot. He rode in on Loch Ness, the monster. And then we ate the planet Earth, but then we brought it back and made it just the way you remembered it, because we love you so much. There is no Thanos love, there is no Thanos love, there is no Thanos love. Yes, there is. It's in the belt. No, that's Maya Novo. I really did a great job, but actually, Ron, who was the owner of Cigars and Stripes. It's not Ron. He drew that because it was like a blank canvas. They go, hey, why don't you? I did a whole piece called Art for Art's Sake, featuring art of noise music. But Ron drew the eyes, nose, and mouth, I think, and I did the rest of it live. So that's what you see here. But then, well, that's like was a Halloween submission I did for Carson Daly. It's really my phone number. But I ate the phone, so you probably can't call me anymore. But then I went into parking lots. Then I ate the underground. And then I gave birth to the world that you call Earth. So there's the picture and the Kickbox Underground. And that's a whole hour and 25 minutes. And it ends with Ghost again. Some pretty cool stuff. And then we go back into the Day of Art, which is back at the same location, where I guess you can see me painting the painting, just because I was big on trilogies. So this is the middle of the trilogy, but really it's not. Really, it's just like, hey, here's a whole album's worth of music from Kickbox. And it actually came out pretty cool, and yes, I did remaster all the music. I guess it's chaptered somewhere, but here it is in its entirety, because I want you to listen to the whole album. Okay? You can talk if you want to. That's me in a mask. And that ride was really weird. Someone actually died that day, but we were giving rides in the electric chair. Death rides in the electric chair. Well, there's, hey, great uncle. And it's Elvis. Memphis, Memphis. Where's Memphis, Tennessee? Who's opening in Vegas? Is that David Lee? Oh, what Memphis he's giving me? Anyway, so that's what goes on, and then you see me in the actual art thing. Whatever, it's just showing other art pieces. All these guys are great artists. Just showing the artistic community and showing Herbie Alpert, that yes, I am already talking about the Teachers Union, who I know Chance the Rapper's big in. Anyway, look at this was cool footage just to sit and watch, get back, have a drink yourself, watch some of the footage, right? To teach people about anarchy, like Joe Jackson was telling us, or is that just a parable? Here's, look at it, it's Andrew Galata. So if he asks you if you owe me money, the answer is yes. Okay, anyway, here's the whole director's bootleg, hour and a half, all the fights. This should have been on pay-per-view. It's not. It's there for free. Watch it as such. You know, I think at the end I go into multiple angles. This is getting tough. Okay, so here. So then I put in, no, I didn't put that in. I wouldn't put that in because it's not me, not me, not me. Yeah, okay. Okay, not my slow fee, that's your slow fee. Now here's another slow fee. It's not my boy, but you see, John and Elvis are dead. But they don't, they live on through legacy, just like Prince. But unlike Prince, look at who's taking care of things before they pass away. What's up, Elvis? But we're still respecting legacies that are, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm talking about? Here's me with an actual Elvis. Poor guy.
There he is. The king in his castle. Temporary, although it be. How you feeling?
Feel good.
That's right. We're going to rock it because we are on the rock stage. Keep in mind it's a noun and a verb. Taking both.
I love John Elvis, dude. He's awesome. So, that's what that is. Terrible sound problems, which is why I left that sound intact. That's exactly how we heard it on stage, and you can hear me whisper. Anyway, here's D-Vids. Here's another quick trilogy. Okay, so for that Super Bowl, there was this broadcast from the nurse. Look at that. Okay, so now I want you to see here. There's a minute left. So in the next minute, just that minute alone, you see less of that, these guys on the Super Bowl. You see more of it here in this broadcast than you do on the actual Super Bowl, okay? But that's okay, because was the military paid? Or did they pay for the commercial? No, I think they just put it on. Hey, thanks for being in America. Cool. So the same people let us put that through, and that was part of my production effort, just letting you know. I got some skills there in the corner, including this Super Bowl broadcast that I can't even believe run through, and that's what's so cool about it, okay? Operation Super Bowl 2014, so this what, 6 years ago now, okay? Hope your favorite team wins.
Pretty cool, huh? And then into the draw. I had to switch back. We're gonna be.
Okay, anyway, you see more of
I
that.
understand. They got the pizza.
That's so cool. And that's why I put this up. Oh no, this has been up there. Okay, I'll let you watch that. Watch that. But here's what I put up. Hard to see is this next piece. Wow. I miss you, right? There it is. So, then I don't know what this is.
About your boss and a man he's out to destroy it.
That doesn't sound good.
He started to walk.
And then here's the walk hard part of all this. Here's the important part, is he goes about the karate. The actual karate part goes to a huge backstory. If you go to One Road Many Paths and look at the featured culture, or click on the Elvis picture, and you'll see what that all that means. And I'm going to skip it, let you watch it. Find Love. I actually took that insignia and made it into an emblem that the Cardinal blessed 1,000 of them for the 50th anniversary. So I'm gonna let you watch that. It's not the emblem, but it's pretty cool. It's another little trilogy. Then we went from that to a young rebel rapper, child youth rapper, that we actually did a video in that same church, but not this video. So I'll let you watch that video. But here's the video we did in that same church. It was an anti-drug commercial. Look at fan. What's up, man? At the bus stop, with your mustache in your hand again. Why? Ooh, drugs aren't cool. Peek them out right now, fool. Those are actually my kids. And Steve's kids. And Adam.
Take my advice, always think twice. Stick to the fight with all of your might. Start a new life on this really cool night. Never give up when life's not right.
It was sugar in the bag that we used. I hope you stop using it before you should stop to your heart. No more opioids, just go to bed. Anyway, we go from that into him giving a helping hand in the Two Famous Studios. If you look far in the back, you can see me. And then we go from there to, just because it was the pizza bowl. Look who it is.
You know what I used to eat for breakfast?
I'll let you find out. Giving it up, showing. Look at it. Unless you're continuing legacy, you're not continuing legacy. That's all. Okay. You can watch the rest of it. There it is. You can see a picture of the Carter picture in there. Nice little look at it. Here's the Two Famous thing. This was important. Look at that cool layering. That's Paul singing. It's the spirit of. Oh, here we go. This. You see it? American cinematographer Spider-Man. And then, before it happened there, for Kickbox Magazine, Benny the Jet, who trained Tobey Maguire and did the stunt work for the original Spider-Man, which you're about to see the picture for in a second. It's also on One Road Many Paths in the featured culture section. Just take a look at it, and here's the cinematographer, Spider-Man. And then here's what's cool, is my godson who loves Spider-Man. You see it later on in the picnic part with my dad, and he's holding a little Spider-Man doll, and he's like 10 years old, and here I am doing all this now. Pretty cool. It's really, just really weird. That blows me away. Anyway.
I've been cinematographer for a while.
And then I think I showed you the other. Anyway, whatever. It's in there. And the Venus soundtrack, right, it's all in there. Anyway, I'm gonna go to the next one because that's the most important part.
In the back, that's an awesome shot.
Aside from the fact that this is like the last footage of my dad ever. But in there, I think it's got to go out.
About the mid-30s, early 30s, always about.
Here we go. There's the Spider-Man. Look at it. See Spider-Man? 25 minute marks is my sister. $25. Look at this. Okay. Print screen. Okay. That's what's cool. So, and then my dad's singing. Oh, and then here's what's the coolest part. At the end of this, so remember, the start of this whole cinematography episode started with Joe Jackson's Night and Day Part 2, which I kind of left on the side except for the prelude. I skipped through it, I have to admit. But then I just stuck on number 1 because I want to go back and listen to it after this was all done. And I just wanted to be stuck on there, being the scene between Night and Day 1 and Night and Day 2. As I come in here, and I hear all this. Here is my dad singing like the last footage of him, and he's singing Night and Day, not the Joe Jackson Night and Day, which by the way never appears on a Joe Jackson Night and Day. This song, the Cole Porter Night and Day.
I say to myself, this affair never can go too well.
You see?
But times I made, darling, I know so well.
It's the 44-minute mark.
That I got you.
I know. He does Night and Day. Anyway, and then he does Putting on the Ritz too, which was why I put that. Now here's Mark. Okay, there's Dad. Rest in peace, man. Alright, look at that.
Thank you very much.
And he does Putting on the Ritz at the beginning, which is why I put the Herb Alpert Putting in the Ritz in the mix. Here's Mark. In fact, I found this. It was, look at this one little second is him putting the tree on. Wow, and then here's him at Cantigny. That's some pretty poetic stuff.
Wake up breakfast with McDonald's, Chicagoland.
What else did I put in here? Video will play after that. Okay. Then I put in the rest of the Mini Cooper trilogies just to finish it up. In fact, just to be poetic and in the spirit of Douglas Adams, I put in 4 pieces to a trilogy, which if you're doing the math has 3 pieces. Here's Herb Alpert's Putting on the Ritz. That's the next video. Watch it. Really cool. And then we did this trilogy. Okay, that was weird, but if you look at the video, the verse in there, it makes more sense. The sound didn't come out how I wanted to, but that's all original footage from the Cold World soundtrack. Just to illustrate, this is me falling through a parallel dimension and back again, zooming back and forth between Cold World and real world and whatever I'm going through. And here, doing the dance, 2 people tango. Let's see, what do I do at the end of this? Is the love story because of the shades. This is why I used it at the end, not only to conclude the trilogy in 4 parts, but also to use the shades at the end, which I know I put in there with the hearts. And then here now to finalize some of the memories of Mark Evans. But really what this does, it allows me to do 2 things in the movie. Once the movie comes out, okay, really what's going into there, there's going to be 2 things. It's going to be me as the producer taking this to Dollywood and getting this movie made, which it is. And then the next thing is, it is showing that just before that happens, this great other parallel story in like 3-4 minutes. Jimmy Buffett at Wrigley Field for the Cubs World Series Championship concert and inviting Mark on stage and all the rest that happened, that now it's legend. So, Okay, that's what's going on. Anyway, then after this, we go to some couple quick commercials. This preludes to the Jimmy Buffett thing, which is cool. And then the next day, he was announcing his musical there for the first time at the Playhouse. So that's what's in that broadcast, including shirts that we really made from. There's a little musical karaoke message in there. I had to put some self-references. Look at, they all existed. I love it. Yeah, I chose that stuff, but I chose it because I wanted you to see this. It solves 20 years worth of madness for me. Just saying, here's the Hooters girls, but what ladies, again, what ladies, and just because this was filmed at 9/11, 2010. And then soldiers went to war here now recently. And here comes Peter and the gun. I won't spoil it, but magical, magical. And then magical, Skyfall, Roger Ingram. But I edited to this for a specific reason. You can see all that between the pieces or figure it out. It's a cute little puzzle, or not. And then finally, after all that, actually at the end of that one, just as you saw it start, that's how that video ends. And that also signifies going back, but in this time loop, what happens to start the whole movie enterprise of my self-autobiography. I go back, not 20 years, but I go back twice the time to get it right this time with the Wayback Machine. And I go back to, that's actually me and Terry Castle dancing at Northern Illinois University College, to a whole hour and a half worth of music. Well, we didn't make the music then, with Steve Dreyer, Mark Jaswinski, and a whole lot of Joe Jackson pieces. So it's just really funny, and when you put it together in that order specifically, and then knowing that the real Joe Jackson, well, all these ties, it's just really amazing stuff. But again, I love to do that. Isn't that what makes life fun?
With my boy sitting in the city, with my boy sitting in the city, Mr. President, I'm DJ Committee, gonna be up all night, get with it. Business signs from the city, coming right now, real pretty. It goes real crazy, oh shit. It goes real crazy, oh shit. The cool folks be my baby. This thing we're listening to learn. Gotta be pressed, start cheering on the place. Time to play right clear on the edge of the road.
Thanks for tuning in. This has been the MemphisStory.
It's the fact that you ain't living, we'll take you there. When a chick is smiling at you, even though there's nothing there, you're standing there like a statue, we'll take you there. You've been always kicking, but just stop your toes. When you up some chicks to bucket, just like old man knows. When you get old kids from loving, and you're going on top instead, it's the fact that you ain't living.